Hello, good morning. Actually, it's this afternoon now, isn't it? Good afternoon. So, how are things with you? How are things with me? Well, yesterday I had a very off day and an off evening and ended up going to bed early and watching telly in bed. Very decadent, I'm sure you're thinking. And I couldn't work out whether I was sickening for something or not. Whether it was hay fever or not, whether it was a migraine on its way or not, or whether I was just feeling down. Now, I've woken up this morning not feeling that much better, but having had some time with God and gone for a walk around the village with John, I'm feeling a bit better. But the one thing I think struck me was that it wouldn't be no surprise if I was feeling down, because I'm sure many of us are. The lockdown is being eased slightly, but things seem to be going on forever, don't they? And we can't see when normal life will be resumed and what that normal life will be like. Now, when the sun was shining and it was warm, it was a lot easier for those of us with gardens anyway. And we could get out in the sun and sit outside for our coffee and go for a walk without having to put on hat, coat, gloves, which is what I had to put on today. And things felt a lot easier. Now, the weather's not bad this morning. It's a lot colder, it's a bit breezy, and it was raining when John and I went out. But we're not dependent on the weather, are we? There's a lot of emotions that are running at the minute, and a lot of hope that we're clinging to. But also, as I said yesterday, a lot of confusion and uncertainty. And it is very easy to find that we are feeling down. And what we tend to do when someone rings us up and we say, "How are you?" We go, "Oh, I'm fine, coping well." The reality might be totally different. And so I'm going to say to you, my friends, that think about the people you know, who you trust, and who you know love you. And if you're feeling down, low in spirits, struggling with your mental health, whatever, tell them. When they say to you, "How are things?" don't say, "Oh, I'm fine." Say, "Actually, today I'm really struggling," or "This week I'm really struggling." And just to be able to say it out loud and to accept our vulnerability is really important. My congregation members know that I am not opposed to allow my vulnerability to show out. And when I'm taking services, without being self-indulgent, I hope, I often tell them how I am feeling. And sometimes I've stood there and said, "I'm feeling low." I stood there and said, "I am grieving. I've lost someone very close to me." I think the very first year I came back after the new year, having done a year in Mount Cop, I can remember saying to my congregation at the time, I don't know why, but I didn't want to come back. The moment I was back, actually, things were fine. But there's nothing wrong with showing our vulnerability and asking others to share it with us. Being here for each other means more than just clapping the NHS, a worthy thing and something we are doing every Thursday. But it's a two-way thing. We can't support each other if we're not allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and telling each other how we're really feeling. Think of just 2 or 3 friends maybe and tell them and say to them, "If I'm having a bad day, do you mind if I ring and tell you?" And if they really love you, they'll say, "Go ahead." And I might actually do the same back to you too. So finally, I want to just read some verses from my favourite psalm, I think it is. and I've probably read them already during the lockdown, but I'm going to read them again. It's the reminder that God is with us in all of this. Whether we're feeling on cloud nine or feeling completely in the depths of despair, God is with us. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in, behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. Where shall I go from your spirit, or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the utmost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light around me become night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is bright as the day, the darkness is as light to you. A reminder that God is with us wherever we are, however we're feeling, and he loves us. God bless.